is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
And welcome back to more Darkest Dungeon. This is episode 29, week 76, getting underway. Alright, so first things first, our town event this week is the Lost and Found. We've seen this several times before. We're going to get a free weapon upgrade. And as you can probably guess from the episode title, the Abhorrent Shambler, as well as our intro title board, in this episode we're going to be dealing with the mysterious and terrifying Shambler encounter. Now, we don't know much about the Shambler. I've never mentioned it, although we have found reference to it in 2 out of the 4 main dungeon journal series. The series from the Warrens, and most recently the series from the Weald, which is the area in which we'll be adventuring this episode. Now, I don't want to say too much about the encounter and spoil it, but I will describe a little bit about the mechanics involved in triggering the encounter, right? So, first of all, it requires a very specific, very singular curio, and this curio doesn't always show up wherever you happen to be. It's just a random chance that when you enter a dungeon and the layout is generated, that one of the curios in that dungeon will be this specific type of curio. Furthermore, you have to interact with this curio in a very specific way, using a very specific supply item. Any other type of interaction with it just simply doesn't result in the encounter. So now that you know that, you can probably guess that as I was forming this party, I wasn't intending on doing the Shambler encounter, right? Let's look at what we have. We have a Shield Breaker, a Hellion, a Jester, and a Vestal. And judging from what we did last episode, you can probably figure out that I was trying to take a Shield Breaker into a champion level dungeon to acquire the final 7th journal entry into the A Beautiful Thing Shield Breaker backstory series. And this can also explain why I'm taking such a strong party into this dungeon. Notice they're all level 6, so I'm not doing any leveling up here. As for the quest reward, it's a Crusader trinket that we already have. I believe you saw us get it in the last episode. As for gold, we're doing fine. Now, the town event reward is pretty good. It's called Caretaker's Convention, and for the next week, all the sanitarium services will be free. And this is a huge gold savings. You know, you can lock in positive quarks, remove negative quarks, even negative quarks that have been made permanent, remove diseases, all for free. So it is definitely one of those town events that you want to go for if you have the chance, but it's not the kind of town event that you go all out for and just take a full level 6 party in to get, right? Rather, this is just a party made to go in, get that last A Beautiful Thing journal entry, and get out, right? No frills, all the rest is ancillary. Let's go in and finish this backstory and move on. So that's what was intended anyway. That didn't happen, but something else did.
Our land is remote and unneighbored. Every lost resource must be recovered.
Alright, so back into the wheel, Devatron. 4th episode in a row. Lucky scouting check. Let's go get these medicines.
Well struck. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Obliterated.
Injury. Palpable fear. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. A hand's breadth from becoming unwound. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, so as is so often the case, initial encounters are very tough, very unforgiving. We tried to recover there and paid the price against that hateful Virago, our jester already reduced to death's door.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
As for good news, we already have the first of the 3 medicines. The second one is scouted in the next room. So accordingly, I'm going to go ahead and camp. You know, why not? Let's get healed up, do this shield breaker encounter if we get it, and then get the second medicine and move on.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
And we don't get the bark from the shield breaker, so no encounter. Now, unfortunately, we don't have anyone in the party who can remove the Jester's Death's Door recovery debuff, so that's something we're just going to have to live with for the remainder of the dungeon. In the meantime, we've prevented a nighttime ambush, and then the shield breaker increased the armor penetration for the other 3 companions. And she also increased her chance to blight and her blight resist. And then with the last 3 here, Tiger's Eye, increasing the accuracy and critical chance for the shield breaker.
way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Alright, so here we are, back to work. Everyone's looking good at least. We're buffed. Jester still has that Death's Door recovery debuff, but no big deal. Shieldbreaker's missing a little health, but not too bad. Stress levels are good. And here's our second medicine. So all in all, we're in pretty good shape.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Eradicated. These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Okay, so a couple of those annoying cytokinesis attacks spawning more enemies, but otherwise a really great fight. We were able to pretty much heal up to full. Lucky scouting check. Unfortunately, as you see me scan over these, the third medicine isn't anywhere in sight, so we're going to have to continue exploring. As for the Curio, the Pristine Fountain, interact with holy water will heal stress, but we didn't need it, so I skipped it for now.
Hacks laden with loot are often low on supplies.
So no additional scouting in that next room, unfortunately, but we pop out here to check this curio and get a beast carcass, which we love, especially when we have medicinal herbs, because we can cleanse it and get more food.
Ancient traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
And yet again, no scouting, so we're going to have to walk all the way to this last room.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
And another hunger check. So I was starting to get a little bit concerned, especially because we came all the way down here to no avail. Now I think we have 12 food and we've already camped, so we can afford 3 more hunger checks, but to get 2 checks this early into the dungeon was feeling like, yeah, the RNG is kind of against us, so either it's going to be a little lighter moving forward, or this is just going to be one of those dungeons where the RNG, totally sucks. And yep, another hunger check. I mean, we went like a couple hallways and rooms away, and another one? Yeah, this is one of those runs, Debatron. RNG is against us. Although here, at least, we were able to heal a bunch of stress off our Hellion from that pristine fountain we saved.
Destroyed.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
The will to fight falters. A death by inches.
Okay, so some more bloodsuckers. We saw this last episode too. Remember, the infestation level's at high, so they're going to be out there. And we did a good job getting through it without contracting the Crimson Curse. And then here, a lucky loot roll, finding a map, and we can see where the final medicine is. So we're almost home. But wait, what is this curio? Have we seen this before? I wonder if we should interact with it, Devatron. I mean, we still got buffs. We're all healed up. Stress levels are good, right? I mean, we can handle this, don't you think, Devatron?
A star-spawned horror.
Passion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle. And now the true test. Hold fast or expire. Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice. Precision and power. Another life wasted in the pursuit of glory and gold. Patched up, if only to bleed again. The space between worlds is no place for mortal men. Perched at the very precipice of oblivion. The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving. As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves. Decimated. Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
OMG, Devatron. What the fuck just happened?
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Every hero reduced to death's door. Several death's door checks had to be made. One was failed. Poor Gornai, our jester. Our level 6 jester is dead. All for what? The Ancestor's Tentacle Trinket, which gives a bonus to Virtue Chance? Are you joking me?
Surgical precision. Fear and frailty finally claim their due.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken. Annihilated. Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered. A devastating blow. Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
All right, now it's just adding insult to injury. As if losing a hero, a level 6 jester, and failing 2 resolve checks during the Shambler encounter weren't enough. We come out here and our Vestal is pushed to a resolve check, which she also fails. And if that's not enough, then our Hellion and our Vestal are also going to contract the Crimson Curse. I mean, wow. Talk about things going from bleak to black, Devatron. Yeah, this was a terrible ending.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike. These medicines will prevent the outbreak of epidemic at our struggling hamlet.
Well, what can we say, Devatron? We lost another hero and kind of a pointless death, but you got to see the Shambler, decent gold there. Everybody has an affliction. Let's check out our quirks. Quick Draw replacing Photomania. Oh, that is so bad. Curious is bad. Got to remove that. Robust replacing Warren's Adventurer. Those are kind of negligible, but Nocturnal is really bad. So even our quirk rewards are punishing us. Nervous Bleeder. That's not good. Got to get rid of it. I mean, wow, Devatron. Really, really bad run. But hey, you got to see the Shambler encounter, right? I hope it was worth it, bud. We'll see you in the next episode.